May the deaths of all whom you betrayed weigh heavy on you in the afterlife.
Minions sure love to ruin a good
Death
scene.
is too good for you, Marcus. May your tortured soul never find peace.
Welcome back, everyone. For this month, we'll be checking out Guild Wars Prophecies. This multiplayer online action role-playing game was released in 2005 for the PC, published by NCSoft and developed by ArenaNet, makers of nothing, just Guild Wars 1 and 2. Guild Wars is still a great game to play and has a unique gameplay loop. I'm surprised there haven't been more games trying to replicate its gameplay. There are pros and cons to it, but I'll get more into that in the gameplay section. Overall, I still recommend checking it out if you haven't. If you're a returning player, then I would give the game another try, because they have made some missions easier to beat while others haven't changed and require you to cheese through it. As usual, we're going to go through the story, so spoiler warning, what I liked and disliked, and any funny or awkward moments that happened to me during my playthrough. Let's go watch people cast spells to open doors. Good job, Hermione Granger. Some quick history. The founders of ArenaNet were former employees of Blizzard that worked on games like Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo. So far, the studio has only made Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. Reviews were generally good for both games, and they've received lots of expansions to play. For Guild Wars, the main story was retroactively titled Prophecies, followed by Factions in April of 2006, Nightfall in October of 2006, and Eye of the North in August of 2007. They did release a series of mini-expansions collectively called Beyond, which was trying to resolve plot threads and set things up for Guild Wars 2, which was set 250 years after Guild Wars 1. Guild Wars 2 was released in 2012 and tried something new with a living world concept. The game world would change, usually on a bi-weekly basis. In 2015, the first expansion, Heart of Thorns, was released, followed by Path of Fire in 2017, End of Dragons in 2022, and lastly, Secrets of the Obscure in 2023. There was something called Icebrood Saga, released in 2019, which continued the living world concept, but was only during the Path of Fire expansion. There is also a couple of novels to read if you're interested. Lastly, according to an article on Kotaku in 2018, there's only 2 developers maintaining Guild Wars. I'm not sure how much longer this game may stick around. I do still see 1 or 2 players depending on what town I visit, so there is still a small community playing. It would be terrible if the servers ever shut down and nobody could play this game ever again. Now on to gameplay. Like most RPGs, you create a character, but choose which expansion to start on. This is because Factions and Nightfall are standalone expansions with their own tutorials. Depending on which expansion you select affects the look of your character. Prophecies has a generic look, Factions has a more Asian style, Nightfall is more African, and Eye of the North doesn't have a tutorial, and can only be accessed once your character hits level 10. Then pick which profession to play. Each profession has different attributes to put points into depending on how you want to play. For example, the monk has healing, smiting, and protection. This means the monk has different playstyles in terms of healing, damage per second, or protection, which is a form of healing, but you could argue it's a form of helping your allies tank or take reduced damage from range. Other professions are similar, but professions like the Elementalist are primarily DPS. The difference may be how effective these spells are. Fire spells are generally great for area of effect, like grouping up a bunch of enemies to deal damage to all of them at the same time. Air spells are generally good at stunning or interrupting enemies. In theory, you can have more than one Elementalist and still have different abilities getting used. It is a good idea to have one of every profession: the Warrior, Ranger, Monk, Necromancer, Mesmer, and Elementalist, but you can only have a full party of 8 people. Factions adds 2 more professions, the Assassin and Ritualist. Nightfall adds Paragon and Dervish. I'm not going to go through every profession, because that would take me a long time to explain. I'm also not an expert in what every profession and skills can do. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that can better explain each profession and find which attributes might interest you. The tutorial areas will teach you the basics of the game and unlock some skills for you to try out. All professions do have the ability to take on a second profession. A warrior can have a few monk spells or necromancer spells to complement their abilities. If you don't like the secondary profession, you can always change it. I mainly stayed focused on the primary attributes of the profession. For the warrior, it's swordsman, axe, hammer, or tactics. The fifth option, strength, is important because each point I put into it adds armor penetration to my attacks. I find this important to have, and other classes have something similar. Skills you should be putting points into, then choosing what other skill you want to focus on. I'm going to tell you the main party I have set up that got me through the game. I did have to make small adjustments like adding an extra healer for difficult missions. Just like I did in my XCOM 2 retrospective, I of course made characters based on my friends and family. Introducing Domkus Maximus, the Hammer Warrior. He wields a giant rhino head hammer and uses skills that build up rage to use my powerful skills for damage, weaken, and even knock enemies down. Alex Tori, the Death Necromancer. His skills are all about raising undead creatures. When there's a corpse near him, he will summon an undead creature like this brute, or this melee unit that when it dies comes back as another undead creature. And he raises ranged undead units that throw bones at enemies. They do like to ruin cutscenes though. Kui Ni, the Fire Elementalist. She's all about casting lots of damage in an area. She's great if there's lots of enemies bunched up and watch their health bars drop fast. Laura Badya, the Healing Monk. She mostly does a great job healing and keeping the party alive. Cliff Penna, the Dagger Assassin. Great at dealing lots of damage to single targets with his daggers. Shell Bai, the Restoration Ritualist. She summons spirits that absorb damage and heal nearby allies. Jar Reed, the Domination Mesmer. It's difficult to explain how mesmers work, but they have abilities such as draining enemies' mana bars, interrupt abilities, or put curses on them, such as every time an enemy attacks, they hurt themselves. It's like telling them to stop punching themselves. Haru Mi, the Markswoman Ranger. She deals great single target damage with her bow attacks. Yes, I bought the cool costumes for them. To summarize the beginning part of the story and prophecies, you are in the beautiful nation of Ascalon. They have a giant wall trying to keep out this army of creatures called the Char. The king tells a messenger to bring him heroes to fight the Char. You'll start in a town area to meet with other players, if there's any around. You can group up with one other player to venture out and explore the small area and complete a few quests. Then when you're ready to leave the tutorial, you talk with this guy to go on a mission and take out a boss. Then a cutscene plays of the Char learning how to bring down the wall. They use some kind of fire magic that turns the land into a post-apocalyptic wasteland. This event is known as the Searing. Now you can explore the world from here. There are many quests to do and explore the world to find more towns and outposts. You only ever get to see players in these towns or outposts. Outposts help you teleport around the world easier, but there's a few towns to go to. Here, there's a lot more vendors to interact with, such as crafting or enchanting your armor. Some NPCs teleport you to other areas of the game, such as PvP islands. When you leave the area, you basically enter your own instance dungeon, so no need to worry about other players stealing your kills or camping a spot for loot like in other MMOs. The quests do lead you to other towns, or more importantly, missions. These will help you advance through the story and help you traverse the world. You can play with real players, but I usually would see maybe one other person, so you'll need to play through the game solo. Don't worry, there's these NPCs called henchmen that you can invite to your party. It tells you directly what each henchman is: the healer, the archer, fighter, etc. You start off with just 4 people per party, but later on you get up to 6, and then even later up to 8. There will be more henchmen to choose from as you advance through the world. Now in Prophecies and Factions, you'll only have access to henchmen. Nightfall introduced what are called heroes. These are NPCs you unlock as you advance through the story. What's special about them is you can change their skills and upgrade their armor and weapons. At first, the game only allowed you to have a maximum of 3 heroes in your party. Then you had to fill the rest with henchmen. However, they changed it so now you can have a full party of heroes. Later on, ArenaNet added what are called mercenary heroes, which are heroes you personally created. Think of it as cloning your heroes to be able to play with them at the same time. In order to have mercenary heroes, you need to purchase a mercenary hero slot with real money, of course. You just need to get the hero to level 20, then save them to a mercenary hero slot at a vendor. Now they can join your party. Even if you make a new hero, you can have a party of level 20s to make it easier to run through early game content. Another thing the devs used to limit parties was you couldn't have more than one of the same primary profession. They also lifted that restriction. I remember watching a video of a guy with a party of only mesmers, and here he is one-shotting groups. There might be some unbalanced combinations, but I figured I would try to have at least one of every profession, at least until I get stuck on a mission and then need to change things up. As for skills, you noticed you only get to choose 8 of them. Each expansion has added new skills, and to unlock all of them, you need to purchase them from a vendor, or get this skill, Signet of Capture, and have it as part of one of your 8 abilities. Then venture out into the world or do a mission. Hopefully, a boss with the profession you're looking for is there. You can tell by the color that's over them. You'll kill the boss, and then use your Signet of Capture and select which skill to take. This is the only way to get elite skills. You can only have one elite skill at a time, and they are very powerful. In most cases, depending on which one you take will dictate your other skills to complement your elite skill. Henchmen don't have elite skills, so having heroes is important if you want to have an easier time getting through missions. Henchmen are still capable of helping you get through these missions, but they just aren't as strong as heroes. The other way to unlock skills is buying them from their online marketplace, which I admit, I bought all the skills. It would have taken me forever to unlock all the skills I need for a decent build on all of my heroes. It's up to you if you want to bypass this. I probably spent too much money unlocking all the skills, buying all the expansions, 8 mercenary slots, and costumes just for this video. But again, I'm not saying you need to do this, but the option is there to bypass the grind. Crafting is something I've never been good at in MMOs. It usually involves a lot of grinding for materials. However, in Guild Wars, they made it more part of the journey. What I mean by that is as you kill creatures, they will drop items for you to collect. In towns and outposts, you can buy a salvage kit from a merchant to turn these items into raw materials. These are what you need to make armor and weapons, along with some gold. Some materials might be rare to get, but there is always a vendor you can buy from to get what you need. If the gear that drops has a color to it, you'll need an identification kit to reveal what special trait it has. Then use an expert kit to take out the special trait it has. Usually this destroys the gear. You can then place this on a piece of gear. If it says stacking, then you can place more than one of these traits on a piece of gear to get the bonus. If it's non-stacking, then you can only have this bonus on one piece of gear. There are vendors to buy these traits from, but the purple and orange ones usually have a downside to them in the form of having less health. It's up to you if having a little more damage is worth having less health. Another unique gameplay aspect to Guild Wars is when you kill a boss, or kill a special creature, or complete a special objective, you will get a 2% morale bonus. This gives you more health and energy up to a max of 10%. If you die, you get a 15% death penalty. Killing creatures or getting morale bonuses will slowly return this back to 0. If you keep dying, this can stack up to 60%. At that point, you might as well restart back at town. There is PvP, but I never touched it, so I can't say what life is like in there. All the missions have a hard mode, so feel free to take on that challenge if you dare. As for the lore, it's all over the place for me. Like, the title Guild Wars doesn't have anything to do with the story. Yes, there was a Guild Wars, but that war is over by the time of this game's events. It's like if Star Wars was instead called Clone Wars, but it takes place after the war, and you hear people talking about things that happened because of the Clone Wars. All I know is there's a bunch of powerful dragons and gods, then humans basically took over and the gods left the world while the dragons are sleeping. somewhere in the world of Tyria. The humans then fought for guilds, then these things called the Char attacked the 3 human kingdoms of Ascalon, Kryta, and Or. They don't do a great job explaining things. Most of the information comes from talking to NPCs. Don't expect me to know what is going on or who these characters are or any backstory. However, I will try my best to explain context surrounding each mission. Alright, let's get on with the story. After you get through the tutorial area and survive the event called the Searing, we head to the Great Northern Wall. You can talk to an NPC who will give you little bits of lore and story about the mission you are about to undertake. Squire Zachary says the Char attack the wall on a daily basis, but today they have been quiet. Captain Calhan fears General Bonfast Burnt Fur's army is gathering for a raid on the wall to the north. You head out and take out some wild scorpions and some other strange creatures. Then arrive at the Char campsite. Then we somehow get spotted and they chase us.
They've spotted us! Back to the wall!
I leave my party behind to slow them down while I run back. There's a timer, so don't stop for anything. You arrive back and report to Calhan you found Burnt Fur's army. But you are the world's worst stealthy scouts and got spotted. Now the army is headed this way. There's too many, so Calhan orders his troops to retreat and fall back to Fort Ranik.
Regroup with the bunkers just north of Fort Ranik. We can't let the Char make it to the capital.
At the fort, you can talk to Lord Darwin. He says the Char have breached the wall and are burning homes and taking what little they have left. They're marching towards Ascalon City. Prince Rurik is organizing a defense and is marching from the capital city of Ren. Hopefully, he will arrive in time before Ascalon falls. We head out to try and push the Char back to the northern wall. Follow the linear path, taking out lots of Char along the way. When you get to here and see this rock formation, turn right onto this path and follow it to this prison cell and free the prisoners to complete the bonus objective. Continue to make your way to the northern wall and find Siege Master Lomar. He needs you to find some pieces for the trebuchet to fix it. They're scattered around, so kill the Char and search in these wrecked catapult piles. There's 3 pieces to find and return to Lormar. It gets fixed, and now you can pull the lever to get it loaded, then pull the lever again to launch it and kill the group of Char. Continue to kill a couple more Char groups, then use the second trebuchet to kill the next large group of Char. But I decided to just charge right in and kill them with my party, since we're level 20 and they're only level 6. Kill the boss at the wall, then a cutscene triggers. This is Prince Rurik. He has finally arrived and feels it's time to stop hiding behind the wall and take the fight to their enemies. A soldier arrives to report they are victorious, but the cost was great. The Char retreated but took prisoners with them.
Ascalons will live in fear of these beasts no more. We march to the north to free our brothers and take back that which has been taken from us.
You teleport to Frontier Gate. There is a quest that will guide you to the next mission outpost, but here it is on the map. Ruins of Surmia has Captain Mykin to talk to. He tells you to meet up and protect Prince Rurik while he attempts to rescue his countrymen from the Char. He also mentions that King Adalburn has publicly criticized his own son, Prince Rurik's hot-headed and brash behavior. It's once again a linear mission, follow the path and take out scorpions, then Char, and rescue prisoners. Eventually, you'll release a set of prisoners that triggers a cutscene. This prisoner is named Erol, and says he's been in prison for over 2 years. The rest of his unit are being held as slaves in the old capital of Dreskir.
Then we go to Dreskir.
So we follow the former prisoner this way and fight more Char. We come across a drawbridge, but need to find a way around to the other side. For the bonus mission, head down this path, cross the river. You'll see this bonfire. Head to the left and talk to this prisoner. Follow this group of Char and wait for them to open this gate. Then you can kill them and attack the Char at this altar to complete the bonus. Then head back to the river and cross over here and follow the path upward to the gate and lower the bridge. Continue on with Rurik, kill this boss and some mages will join you. Rurik needs time to cast a open the door spell. I mean, Hermione could have done this almost instantly.
Alohomora!
You just need to hold off the waves of enemies. Rurik opens the door and everyone takes cover inside and he closes the door to hold off the Char army. Inside this room is a portal that will take everyone to the Academy of Nolani. From there, the plan is to head for the wall and cross over into Ren. Erol tells everyone to wait and calls Rurik over to look at this horn. They believe it to be Stormcaller, and believe with this weapon they could destroy the Char and save Ascalon. They take the horn with them, and run through the portal right as the Char break through. At the Academy, talking to Flaming Scepter Mage Danon is happy we recovered the mouthpiece of the horn. Oh, okay, it'll make sense in a moment, but still, they make it look like a horn, but they tell us it's actually a mouthpiece. Anyway, Danon is happy we found it. The weapon will render helpless the enemies of Ascalon. The mouthpiece was lost during the last Guild War, which we still don't know anything about. It makes me think of that throwaway line in Star Wars Episode 4.
You fought in the Clone Wars?
People wondered what the Clone Wars were all about. I have the same question for what was the Guild Wars about? Sorry, getting sidetracked. Probably because next month is Star Wars. Anyway, Danon says there's an army between us and the wall. We need to fight our way through to get to the wall. Normally there's a path to fight around to get to the backside of the Char army and slowly take them out, but I do the hard thing because my party is still level 20 and we can easily take them all out. I open the gate and take on all the Char at once. Continue on with Rurik to the wall. He commands a guard to open the door but says the king will put anyone to death if the door is opened.
And I swear death if you don't stand aside this instant.
Yes, my prince.
When he gets to the other side, the city is burning. While it's hard to tell with the visuals, I guess we need to take his word for it. The capital city is on fire. We need to get to Horn Hill and use Stormcaller to save the city. Follow the prince and protect him from these elementals. When he gets to the top, he sounds the horn of Gondor. This is what I meant by I thought we already had a horn, but no, it's actually the mouthpiece to use on this gigantic horn. Then suddenly it starts to rain, but I don't see the Char being rendered helpless. Actually, they begin attacking us like normal. We then head down to kill the Char leader, Bonfast Burntfur. Doesn't look like much of a city anymore, but we hear trumpets, meaning the king is approaching. He tells Rurik to rise and praises him on finding Stormcaller. He sees this as a turning point in the war with the Char. However, Rurik doesn't think this weapon will be enough to defeat them. The king says not to overestimate them and to not be afraid. Rurik assures him he is not afraid, but after fighting the Char for so long in the destruction of Rin, he believes it would be wiser to leave Ascalon and head for a place called Kryta. The king becomes furious at the thought of living in the shadow of the Krytans. He believes in just rebuilding Rin.
And you will learn your place.
You have grown proud, Adalbern of Ascalon. Proud and foolish.
You would dare call your king a fool? I will hear no more. I banish you from Ascalon. You are no longer my prince, and you are no longer my son.
People of Rin, your king will lead you to death. If you wish to see better days, if you wish to live, then leave the beasts behind and follow me over the Shiver Peaks. We make for Kryta and a new life, free of the Char.
We then end up in Yak's Bend, and now we get to have a party of 6. Once again, you'll get a quest that will lead you to the next mission. Beckham Redley says the caravan is having a hard time making it through Borlis Pass, because it's been snowing for the past couple of days. Rurik went ahead to secure passage through by talking to a dwarf named Jalis Ironhammer. Jalis is the king of the Deldrimor dwarves, and mentions they are having a civil war with a faction called the Stone Summit. We need to make our way through the pass by lighting the beacons to guide the caravan through. Talk to this guard and he will give you a torch to light the beacons. Fight your way through the centaurs and light all 7 beacons along the way, and then give the torch to this guard to open the gate. You'll now start fighting the Stone Summit. Find these cake stations to pick up an explosive barrel and place it in front of the gate to destroy it. It's way faster than casting Open the Gate spell. Fight your way through, taking out the Stone Summit. Definitely take out these ballistas. They give you a morale bonus. Take out this big group in front of this gate, then meet up with Rurik inside. He's glad to see you, but must return to the caravan and help guide them through. He wants us to continue onward and clear the way. We speak with King Jalis Ironhammer. He gives us a blue flame torch to light another beacon which will signal the king's brother to open a gate for us to stay the night. It's not too far, just follow the path and you'll find this giant beacon. Light the 3 smaller ones and complete the mission. Lighting it will probably even call the riders of Rohan to the Shiver Peaks. Rurik sees the beacon and moves the caravan forward. Meanwhile, inside the dwarven town, Breknar Ironhammer, the Dwarven King's brother, is speaking with a dwarf over the fighting seems to have stopped outside. Breknar thinks he heard shouting of men. Then another dwarf runs over and tells him, "The beacons are lit!" He also reports that there are a band of men outside the gate waiting to enter. Breknar is impressed because they had to have gotten through someone called Dagnar and his stone summit, so he orders the gate to be opened to meet their new visitors. Breknar meets with Rurik, welcoming him to the Gulch. Rurik lets him know they are seeking passage through this pass and are trying to get to Kryta.
Well then, Rurik of Ascalon, welcome to Grubel's Gulch. You are free to stay with us as long as you will.
Thank you, mountain friend. Rin is forever in your debt.
Larthen Irontongue is someone you can talk to. He says they will give you safe passage, but getting through the Frost Gate will be our problem. Dagnar Stoneplate is the leader of the Stone Summit and does not like anyone that isn't a dwarf. They will kill us on sight, and he's the cousin of King Jaelus Ironhammer. The only way is to find a lever and activate the mechanism that opens the Frost Gate. The Stone Summit will do everything they can to stop us. First we fight some Minotaur, then we get to the Stone Summit. Take out the Ballista to get a morale bonus, but also to let Rurik and the caravan advance forward toward the Frost Gate. Take out all the Stone Summit and their iron golems inside the base camp, and take out another Ballista. Head inside this cave, take out more creatures, then you need to carefully time this. Otherwise you could kill your whole party and have to start all over. Take out the Stone Summit in this area and a cutscene will trigger. Rurik meets up with you and tells you about the Frost Gate. We look out and see the Frost Gate and the 3 mechanisms that lift the gate. We just need to find the lever and use it on each of these to open the gate. Rurik will hold off the Stone Summit until everyone is through the Frost Gate. Oh look, the lever. It's just laying here. Use it on this machine to open the gate and then pick it back up. This takes a while to open. I wish we could have just cast a spell to open it. But once it's open, take out the Stone Summit and use the lever on all 3 mechanisms. Then take out the Waves of Stone Summit until the cutscene triggers. We hurry through and the caravan of what looks like 5 people make it through. Rurik keeps holding off the Stone Summit when, up on a hill, Dagnar Stoneplate appears. He causes an avalanche, trapping Rurik. He tells you to leave him behind and get everyone to Kryta.
Your punishment for trespassing is death.
We now teleport to Beacon's Perch. It's a long walk to the next mission, Gates of Kryta. But once you are there, you can talk to Witness Kasori. She welcomes you to Kryta and says this is a historic day because we are the first people from Ascalon to come to Kryta since the Searing. You can ask her for more lore like before the Searing, Ascalon, Kryta, and another human kingdom called Or were all at war with one another. They were all caught up fighting each other. They didn't see the Char threat massing in the north. Ascalon is pretty much wiped out now. Or disappeared by a flash of light and a cloud of smoke, while Kryta turned to faith by a man named Saul. I guess they did better by calling Saul. He taught them the power of believing in themselves. Saul created a force called the White Mantle. When the Char army arrived, they were able to push them back. For this mission, we just need to meet up with Justicar Hablion. We now are fighting the undead. They like to give disease which drains your health, and most of them don't have blood, so don't use any kind of bleeding abilities. You'll find a small outpost and talk to this guy. He tells you to head south to find Hablion. Fight more undead until you finally meet up with Hablion. This cutscene is a little awkward because the voice actor, Steve Blum, voices both the male character I'm playing, if you haven't noticed, but also Hablion. It's like talking to clones of yourself.
I don't have time for long speeches, but I'll make you this deal. Help me fight these undead, and I'll give you and your people passage into Lion's Arch.
Anyway, we now need to help him push the undead back. Just follow him and take out all the undead along the way. You'll get to a swamp, but watch out, the water is poisonous. A cutscene will trigger after the last enemy is defeated. Hablion thanks you for your help and grants you passage into Kryta.
Welcome to Lion's Arch.
Then we are shown some White Mantle discovering something called the Scepter of Or. The undead then ambush them. The soldiers hold off the undead while the last survivor escapes with the scepter and runs to the Temple of Tolerance. Then we get introduced to something that looks like the Jeepers Creepers monster.
Run, you little fool, run. I have all the time in the world. The scepter will be mine again soon enough. Everything proceeds according to the prophecy.
Talk with Mantle Knight Karya. He talks a little bit about the Scepter of Or. It's a powerful artifact that was owned by the last king of Or, until something happened to the kingdom, and it was all destroyed by what was called the Cataclysm. I feel like the story writer had fun coming up with cool names for events that shaped the world. The Searing, the Cataclysm, the Revolution, the Defecation. He says the scepter has the power to command creatures from the underworld. So we need to head over to the Temple of Tolerance where Confessor Dorian was examining the scepter, but the undead began invading the temple. First, we can help by saving some of these villagers from the undead to get a morale bonus. After fighting undead in another swamp, you'll make it to the temple and meet Confessor Dorian. You just need to protect him for a few minutes until the undead waves stop coming. Then head out to find Dinas, who tried to escape the temple with the scepter. He was just trying to keep it away from the undead, in case the temple got overrun, but now we can return with it. Dorian thanks us and inducts us into the White Mantle.
For your service to the White Mantle, it is my great pleasure to induct you into our organization and bestow upon you the title of Knight of the Mantle.
We then get sent to Divinity Coast. We were sent here to administer the Test of the Chosen. Mantle Knight Franklin explains that every season they take something called the Divine Eye of Janthier to all the villages in Kryta to test the locals for their magical aptitude. If you are chosen, you then get taken to the Temple of the Unseen to study under the Grand Masters to unlock your full potential. We first need to fight some undead and arrive at an outpost to meet with Hableon, who tells us about the eye. First we just need to head up this hill, kill some enemies, then cleanse ourselves in this pool. Now we can grab the eye. We follow the road to all the villages, save all the villagers and check to see if they are chosen, then bring them all to the last village and complete the mission. The White Mantle then take all the chosen with them to somewhere. Along the way they get ambushed by a group someone yells out called the Shining Blade. They take the chosen into the jungle.
Please don't hurt us!
Keep quiet. Your suffering will be over soon.
We arrive at the wilds where witness Giselle tells us about the Shining Blade killing those two White Mantle and taking the chosen into the Maguma jungle. She says the Shining Blade call themselves revolutionaries, but she sees them as godless, bloodthirsty cowards. We must enter the jungle full of giant spiders, plants, and other kinds of creatures that are ready to eat us. We need to find the Shining Blade and bring them to justice. Watch out for these entangling roots. You need to get past this spot before it closes it off, which I messed up trying to get my party through first. Just need to kill it or wait a couple minutes and it will open the way again. Keep following the linear path to see a Shining Blade member use a seed to create a bridge. Follow her across, fight more creatures, walk across this healing river, fight spiders until you eventually find the chosen all wrapped up in webs. One chosen is still alive and about to be eaten by a spider, but a Shining Blade member sacrifices his life to save the chosen. That's strange. Then someone tells you to help save the chosen. Fight off the remaining spiders and boss to finish the mission. This is Avenia, leader of the Shining Blade. Our party realizes they aren't trying to kill the chosen, because it doesn't make sense why they would rescue the chosen just to feed them to the spiders.
Then what were you doing?
Rescuing them from the mantle, that's what. The spiders were a miscalculation.
This is Marcus. He doesn't trust us. He thinks we are still working for the White Mantle. But Avenia says, once we know the truth, we will join them against the White Mantle.
This is a mistake, Avenia.
Maybe it is. If my hunch about you is correct, then you'll head to Bloodstone Fen. The truth about the White Mantle will reveal itself, and you will be faced with a difficult decision.
Talking to Blade Scout Brayden, he tells us the reason the White Mantle are killing the chosen. It's because they worry about the Flame Seeker prophecies coming true. The prophecy is, those with true sight will rise up against their unseen oppressors, meaning the White Mantle's unseen gods. He says the White Mantle take the chosen to a bloodstone to kill them and trap their souls into statues. We head out to find Blade Scout Ryder. First we find Sadra, who tells us how to grow a bridge. Just grab a seed from a vine seed flower and drop it here. Follow the linear path, taking out new creatures, grow new bridges, until you find Ryder, and that's the Bloodstone in the distance. More bridges to grow, because I'm sure you've been enjoying it by this point. Seriously, I plant a seed, then I have to run all the way back here to grab another one and run the same path back to grow another bridge. That's just lazy game design to extend the mission's playtime. Finally, start fighting the White Mantle and reach the Bloodstone. We watched Justicar Hableon kill a group of Chosen. He thought the Shining Blade killed us.
We're on to you, Hableon. Your days of murdering innocent people end here.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. If anyone ends here, it will be you.
First, kill the small groups near him to make the fight easier. Then, kill him. Nothing special about the fight, it's really simple. We then get to see Confessor Dorian rally his White Mantle and give a fancy speech. But you see this guy? Yeah, that's Marcus. Yep, he's betraying us. We end up in an outpost called Coral Falls. It's a long way to the next mission. First, you should find Ventari's Refuge, then head to Aurora Glade. You can talk to Elder Gretchen, who's surprised we made it. Apparently, the White Mantle launched a raid on the Shining Blade, but they seem to know right where to hit them. Currently, the Shining Blade is planning to use a portal to clear out an area to make a new home for themselves. But the White Mantle seemed to know about this plan, and only people in the Inner Council knew of this information. We need to beat the White Mantle to the portal, so get to clearing these creatures out of your way. Then it teaches you how to capture a control point. Talk to this druid, pick up the crystal, and take it here. Then move to the next area, which shows you if the color is red, then the White Mantle have control of it. So just place a crystal for both of these. Now you're ready for the final area, which has 3 control points. While you try to take them, the White Mantle are also trying to take them. Don't worry, it's super easy. First, take the portal closest to you, then go take the one to the left. Then grab another crystal and wait for the White Mantle to take the middle one. Just take it back as soon as they capture it, then grab another one and run over to grab the one on the right side. It's super easy to complete. We then use the portal to take us somewhere to fight a boss. It's easy, nothing special about it, no boss mechanics like in World of Warcraft. The others come through and begin setting up camp in this new place they call Henge of Den Ravi. We also hear a new voice.
A new chapter now lies open for Tyria. The page has been turned, and the conflict begins in earnest. All is as I have foreseen.
Now, head out of town and head to this area. You'll meet with a scout who will take you to Riverside Province. Blade Warrior Derek says the time has finally come to strike back against the White Mantle. Avenia has tasked us with this mission because there is a traitor in their ranks and we are the only ones she trusts. Our mission is to sneak into the Temple of the Unseen and steal the Scepter of Ore. There's a Shining Blade agent, Dynas, inside the temple that will help us. You guys remember Dynas. So we wait until the cover of night and sneak past patrols. Okay, this is kind of cool. It feels like a stealth mission, however, it's more about stopping them from calling more guards. It's not like an automatic fail. You can just slaughter everyone you come across. At least here, there are 2 routes through the mission. You can find a second path to sneak around the White Mantle, but they usually have undead there. So follow the somewhat linear paths to the temple and kill the White Mantle there and talk to Dynas. He gives you the scepter and shows you the best escape route. A White Mantle sees what's going on and reports to a patrol. Just follow the path to the east and take out the undead and White Mantle. Get to this bridge, kill the boss to complete the mission. You take out the bridge and meet up with Avenia. She has a plan to give the scepter to a man named Vizier Kilbraun, who used to be the advisor to the King of Ore. In exchange, he will aid us in our fight against the White Mantle. Then Saedra asks for any news from Marcus, but we didn't meet up with him outside the temple.
He didn't meet you outside the temple?
No, we knew of no such plan.
Maybe he'll catch up with us at the docks.
Blade operative Paulina in Sanctum Cay says we are so close to being able to come out of the shadows and take the fight to the White Mantle during the day. If you ask for more information, she tells you a little bit more of the city of Ore. It blew up and no one survived, except Vizier. That sounds a little suspicious. Anyway, our mission is simple. Deliver the scepter to Vizier. What could possibly go wrong? Follow the linear path as always, taking out imps, undead, and even White Mantle. Oh, by the way, holding the scepter gives you energy regen. Dropping it and standing near it also gives the buff, so get your allies to stand on it. Careful in this swamp area, the water is poisonous, so I recommend run straight to the other side, then fight. Open the gate, fight some giants and imps, then give Vizier the scepter, but he seems to already be holding it? Then he gives a sudden plot twist. He reveals Marcus is the traitor. The White Mantle have destroyed the ship we arrived on and taken everyone like Avenia captive. But not to worry, Vizier is a powerful mage and can summon a boat for us to use. He can also summon the undead to aid us. Head over to this gate. Take out the White Mantle and follow the path. Get to the dock, then hold off the attacking waves until Vizier can revive a ship for us to use and complete the mission. Vizier then tells us the Shining Blade have been routed by the White Mantle and are fleeing to the Shiver Peaks. As much as our characters want to go and help, he tells us we must go to the Crystal Desert and ascend. Only then will we be powerful enough to defeat the White Mantle and their unseen gods. Turns out we are chosen and must find the Prophet to learn the power of true sight.
And now you must venture through the desert. Prove yourselves worthy and claim your birthright. Then you will take this fight to them. Prepare yourselves. The trials of ascension await.
You arrive in the Amnoon Oasis, a new town for weapons and armor. Taking a look at the map, first you want to find Augury Rock. Then, from there, it is a long walk to the 3 missions. Let's start with Dunes of Despair. Talk with this ghostly hero. He will talk a little bit about the gods. Our mission is to usurp another ghostly hero that currently sits on the throne of the Temple of Ascension. Lead the good ghostly hero through the desert and fight the smaller sandworms of Dune that throw rocks, which explode for some reason. He will cast Lower the Drawbridge spell. Head to the ruined temple and a cutscene will trigger. The ghostly hero has the raspiest voice I've ever heard, like he's Dr. Claw.
The gods gaze down from the Hall of Heroes, granting their favor to those who control the throne. Exactly what I want him.
Let him cast the Lower the Bridge spell. Take out the hero. Now hold off the waves of enemies for 10 minutes. At least here it is a challenge, so I recommend run to the left, take out the first set of snake people, then run back to the middle and take out the group coming from the right side, then the middle, then left again, but wait for the dune worm to appear and take it out. Next group will come from the middle, then the right side. Wait for the worm, then head to the middle, and wait for the worm as well. The next 2 groups will come from the right side, including a worm. That was it for the waves, so I just waited around for time to expire by running around and looking at the sights. The ghostly hero says we got the attention of the gods.
We have drawn the attention of the gods. Let us hope they are pleased.
We now head to Thirsty River and talk to another ghostly hero. They all look the same, but completely different ghostly persons. He gives a history lesson if you want to know more. This mission is about cleansing us of our sins. How do we do that? By killing snake people in an arena, of course. At the start, make sure you kill these sand giants. They give a morale boost. Okay, actually, the ghost explains we need to protect him and get him to some runic circle at the end of this arena-style set of structures. The interesting challenge here is every 2 minutes, the enemies will respawn unless you take out the priest. This makes it tough to decide if you should try and push through and take out the priest, or wait for him to revive the team, take them out, and then push in to finish him off. The first one is easy. It's just one group. Lead ghostly hero to the door so he can cast the open door spell. Then take on 2 groups. Just be careful of their patrols because they might end up fighting at the same time, which is usually what gets groups killed. Which I accidentally did, but luckily didn't die. I even had just enough time to kill both priests, just before the 2 minutes. Now we need to fight 3 teams of enemies. There is a ghost in the middle that if you keep him alive, you will complete the bonus. Also, he leaves after 20 minutes of starting this whole thing. I was able to finish off the teams and win. He says we are cleansed and ready for the next phase.
Under the scrutiny of the gods, your souls will be pure, your bodies cleansed. You are ready for the next phase.
As usual, another ghostly hero to talk to. Basically, he talks about the vision crystal which will help focus the gaze of the gods on us. We just need to get 3 pieces of the crystal and put it together. First, we talk with this ghostly priest who gives us a crystal shard. Kill the Minotaur and make your way to the ghostly hero. He tells you this is where his people failed. They couldn't trust one another with the vision crystal, so they separated it and put it in different places. Then he says we need to hurry because once the ritual has begun, he needs all 3 crystals before the ritual is finished casting. Fantastic! A timed mission. We have 30 minutes to get the other 2. I start by running over here, take out groups of enemies on their own. At the top of this hill is where the shard is. Then take it back to drop it off. Then I snake my way around the edge to get the last vision crystal. Then take it back and complete the mission.
The gaze of the gods shall be focused upon you, and your path will be made clear.
After completing all 3 missions, head to Augury Rock and talk to the great ritual priest Zamut to start the mission. I specifically remember this mission being very difficult. First, you run to these 3 runes to open the mountain. You fight a boss who is a copy of you. Whatever abilities you have selected, the boss has the same abilities as you. Back in the day, I recall trying to get him stuck on geometry, then attack him until he died. However, they seem to have fixed that. I kept running around, but it wasn't working. I was close to death, so I just started attacking him, and next thing I knew, I defeated him. I'm certain they nerfed this fight to make it so much easier.
Reach out and take hold of your destiny. Your ascendance is now complete.
We finally get to have a full party of 8. The gang is all here. Laura, Shell, Haru, Alex, Jar, Queen, and Cliff. We talk with this forsaken snake who says we need to defeat 6 dragon bosses before we can speak with the prophet. Each area has some kind of unique challenge. The first one is constantly draining your health. The enemies aren't that special. Neither is the Facet of Light boss. Once it's dead, run into the portal. Second area is just slower movement. No big deal. Follow the linear path, take out the enemies, defeat the boss. Third area doesn't have any environmental effects, but enemies are tougher. Fourth area drains energy. Fifth area has random abilities like Firestorm, Maelstrom, Chain Lightning, and Eruption occur randomly. The last area knocks everyone down every 25 seconds. We meet with the dragon prophet named Glint. She gives us a lot of information, so let me summarize. She tells us we are the chosen she's been waiting for to fulfill the Flame Seeker prophecies, which was 800 years ago when she first saw the vision. While we've been in the desert proving ourselves, the White Mantle and their unseen gods have come out from hiding. They are an ancient, powerful race of spellcasters called the Mersat. They use their disciples, the White Mantle, to hunt down all chosen in order to prevent the prophecy from becoming true. Many of our friends from the Shining Blade have been captured in the Shiver Peaks and will soon be executed on a bloodstone. Then she mentions we have some sort of business on Mustafar. The Ring of Fire. Apparently, there's something there that has the power to destroy both good and evil. She opens a portal for us to save our friends in the Shiver Peaks. You spawn in at Draknar's Forge. If you have the materials, it would be smart to craft armor and weapons here. Then follow the path to the right to find the mission Ice Caves of Sorrow. Talk with Blade Scout Shelby, who's surprised to see you. They thought we were killed since we never returned from Sanctum Cay. The Mantle snuck into Henge of Den Ravi during the night and took everyone by surprise. Few escaped into the Shiver Peaks, but many more were captured, including Saedra and Avenia. Rumor is there's another Bloodstone up here in the mountains. We need to hurry and rescue Avenia and Saedra. This first area has you fight the Mersat, and they hit like a motherfucking truck. Their spell Spectral Agony hurts really bad, so kill them quick and maybe have 3 healers in your party in case you can't survive the damage. Clear out the area, and killing the engineers will give you a morale bonus. Don't make my mistake and think you need to somehow time this and run through here, because it won't work. There's too many White Mantle to fight even if you survive. Instead, you need to activate this catapult to cause a stampede that will kill the enemies for you. Now you can cross. Find this pile of barrels, drop it by this gate, and head inside. Kill the White Mantle in here, then you'll arrive in the prison. I would stick to the left and make your way around to the other side. Grab another barrel to destroy the door. In the cutscene, of course everyone hears it, Saedra decides to sacrifice her life to hold off the Mersat for us. She gets taken out like instantly. But awkwardly, I need to go grab another barrel and blow open the exit doors. A deadly wave of Mersat is slowly approaching, so we need to hurry and clear a path to the boat. They do give you a choice to time it through a catapult or take the longer but safer route around it. Overall, it's pretty easy to get through without any worry of the death wave getting too close. Avenia is sad that Saedra is gone and curses the gods.
Saedra should not have died. It wasn't her time. But she gave her life so that the rest of us could live on. Now I put you on warning, you gods who abandoned Tyria so long ago! When my time comes, and I arrive in the mists, I best not find that she's been mistreated. Or as Balthazar as my witness, I will make all of you pay! To the end of us all.
Avenia's next plan is to find Marcus and get revenge for everything he's done. However, he's surrounded by the Mersat and they're too powerful. Avenia says there's an ancient sorcerer that lives near here that can help us against the Mersat. There are two paths to take, one with the Stone Summit and one with the White Mantle. When I first did this mission, I accidentally took the harder route, but this time I went left and met with the Seer. She says we are the Ascended Glint spoke of. She tells us her race were once at war with the Mersat, and she knows how to better protect us from their magic. We just need to go kill a boss creature nearby and bring its carapace back so she can enchant our armor. Now the Mersat deal less damage to us, and the agony spell doesn't drain our health as fast. We now arrive at Marcus's little outpost, kill the guards, and then move in to finish him off. Avenia gets to say some final words about Marcus. Then we see the capital city of Thunderhead Keep fall to the Stone Summit. King Ironhammer orders the retreat and escapes through a secret tunnel. Talking to Gramble Stonebook, he informs us Thunderhead Keep was taken by the Stone Summit. We are to meet with King Ironhammer and retake the city. Just us. No army. Just the 9 of us and a couple of guards. This mission was the bane of my life. I could never get past it when I first played it back in 2005. Eventually, I found a party of other players who were kind enough to help me get through it. Well, with my custom-made party and everyone having great weapons and armor, as well as all the armor enchanted, it was a cakewalk. There is also the chance they may have made this mission easier for players because I can't imagine I was the only one stuck on this mission. You basically kill all the Stone Summit you find, then Fasir talks to you through a big fire basin. He says the Mersat and the White Mantle are on their way to take the keep. He gives you some undead allies for you, but also reminds us of our quest to the Ring of Fire.
Today, you must prevail, for the tale does not end here. Your destiny lies to the west.
You need to defend Ironhammer from waves of Mersat and White Mantle that attack from 2 gates. Just run back and forth between them, taking out all the enemies you see. Eventually, the final boss is Confessor Dorian. Once he and his party are dead, you win. Visir then uses Dorian's body to raise more undead to fight a wave of Stone Summit. Visir tells us it's time we head to the west where the Ring of Fire is. There we will find the power we need. There's something called the Door of Komali. Behind that door is the secret to defeating the Mersat. The king says we will never make it past the beachhead, but his brother steps up and says, not without dwarven help, he's going to come with us. Then we find a portal that will take us there. Wow, that's convenient.
Through this portal awaits your destiny. Do not let it linger. Seize that which you were born to do.
Until we are reunited in the Great Forge. Go with honor, my brother. Fight bravely in the name of Deldramor.
It won't be long now. Not long at all.
Oh right, that guy, the Lich. And, I wonder who that is with him. We finally arrive at the Volcano Island. You'll start in Ember Light Camp. Just run straight to the first mission here, Ring of Fire. Fogard Axe Mighty talks about how the Mersat have been preparing for this. They have set up so many defenses to keep us out. Our mission is simple, break through their defenses and get to the other side. Now, this is the only mission I actually had to restart twice. There are 2 ways of getting through. Either right through the front gate, which was my first attempt. These towers are very painful and require careful but quick damage to destroy. The second attempt, I tried the other route, where you fight some imps, but they have the most annoying spell with their Meteor Shower spell that knocks you down and deals tons of damage. This requires careful timing and baiting out the ability so it avoids your party from getting hit. At the start, you watch Ironhammer distract some Mersat. Seriously, why are people just throwing away their lives for nothing? Take out the Mersat and watch out for these towers. They will drain your energy quickly while standing nearby. There's also a lava pit you need to run across. Once you get here, you have a choice to make. On my third attempt, I tried to be extra careful. The front gate is generally easy, but on the other side, the issue is these two towers have their hit target on the other side. So angling your party enough to be able to attack it and kill it quickly, then retreat and get your health and energy back up. Then take out the other one. If you can get past this part, the rest of the way should be easy. Just clear out the Mersat and cross over the bridge, then kill this boss to win. Vasir holds a funeral for Breknar. Seriously, Breknar, you didn't need to die, but whatever. I won't stop someone from being heroic. Or stupid. Talk to Blade Warrior Olivio for lots of information. So here's the TLDR. We are at the most treacherous part of the volcano called Abaddon's Mouth. On the other side is the Door of Komali. It's a gateway to another realm. We just need to punch through this Mersat outpost known as Onyx Gate. It's honestly an easy mission. Vasir even gives us a buff that speeds us up and gives us energy regen. Fight the Mersat and open the gates. Just keep following the path that takes you towards the volcano, and that's it. Once you get inside the volcano, you take out the ether seals. Then some seal guards appear, so slowly take them out until you destroy all the seals to trigger the cutscene. The shield is lifted, and it looks like souls or ghosts are coming out. Then a volcanic creature appears from the lava. Vasir appears, and surprise, he was the Lich the entire time. He uses the Scepter of Ore to control this new creature. We then begin attacking it and destroy it quickly to complete the mission. The Lich then begins creating more of these lava creatures and is sending them all over Tyria to take over the world. He mentions to this one he's sending it to Rin. You remember, that was the capital of Ascalon. Man, it's been so long, I forgot to be emotionally sad hearing that. We finally made it to the last mission. We can talk to this ghost named Jacob Salinger. He was one of the unlucky chosen killed on the Bloodstone and Maguma jungle. All those souls were brought here to power the Door of Komali. Now that we destroyed those batteries, we unleashed the Titans. He tells us a little bit about Vasir. He was once the advisor to the King of Ore, as we know, but when the Char reached the city, he used some dark magic, which did turn the Char away, but the explosion caused the city of Ore to sink under the ocean. That's this area. The dark magic also turned him into this. Now that he has the Scepter of Ore and can control the Titans, there is no army in Tyria that can stop him. So our mission is simple. We need to find him and stop him before he unleashes the Titans on the world. You need to be cautious when fighting these Titans. When a burning Titan dies, 2 risen ashen hulks spawn. When you kill one of these, a Hand of the Titan and Fist of the Titan spawn. Try not to get overwhelmed. Also, watch out for these imps. They have a powerful spell that hits like a truck. They took me and Haru out, so just the 2 of us had a death penalty. Follow the path around the volcano to destroy these 3 Armageddon Lords. Defeat all 3 of them to complete the bonus objective. Then destroy these 3 portal wraiths to close the portals all over Tyria. Vasir certainly didn't like that, but he just sees it as a delay. We follow after him. He summons some small titans and an old friend of ours.
But before I go, I have someone here you might like to talk to. Perhaps this will slow you down long enough to let me finish my work. Rurik?
He teleports back to the volcano to create more titans. Rurik says he does not wish to fight, but he must be magically compelled to do so. First, pull some of the enemies, unless you want the challenge. It's just, once again, watch out for those imps because they hurt. Rurik has a lot of health, but he is easy to take out. His final words are for us to close the Door of Komali. We need to kill the Lich on top of the Bloodstone. Oh right, I didn't realize that was a Bloodstone we were fighting on. By killing him on it, his soul will recharge the batteries and close the door again.
End my misery. Release me from the Lich's spell.
If that is what you wish.
So we head back to the volcano and take out the Titans inside. Then the Lich comes over and we fight him. He will teleport away for some reason, but just keep throwing everything you have at him. Eventually he will die. And to be honest, this was very anticlimactic because I honestly didn't really have to do anything. The door closes, the Lich is dead. Glint tells us the final part of the prophecy. We saved Tyria and locked the Titans away. Now the volcano is going to erupt, so we make a run back to the Mersat docks to escape on the last ship. We get to a strange gathering of every NPC we encountered on our journey, including the King of Ascalon. Like it's my birthday party and everyone got an invite? Talk to King Ironhammer for a token to claim a weapon of your choice if it was your first time. In conclusion, Guild Wars is still a fantastic game. Each profession has its own unique gameplay and fantasy for players to enjoy. It's got an interesting story, but I'm not really sure if I'd say it's great. However, it is still memorable, more so than the other story expansions. Maybe one day for the added challenge I will attempt to beat them all on hard mode. As for the expansions, let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do retrospectives on them. As it stands, I still recommend purchasing this game and keeping it on your computer because there's no telling if and when ArenaNet shuts this game down. As of writing the script, there's rumors of a Guild Wars 3. It'll be interesting to see what similarities and differences it'll have with the franchise. Next month should be obvious, it's Star Wars. And more importantly, it's Episode 1's 25th anniversary, so I got something very special for you guys to enjoy. See you then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to help grow my channel, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Check me out on the Time Pals podcast, link in the description. Also check out my merch store. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.